Hello, once again. This is Kaushik Bose from Campus Technology, a portfolio company of Times of India Group. Today, I am going to talk about a very interesting skill called observation skill. We are going to discuss the importance of observation skills, uh, what are the benefits of it, uh, how is it beneficial for all of us, and what is the importance of observation in teaching and learning. All these aspects we are going to discuss. We're going to work on it. Now when we talk about observation skill, basically, in short, we can say that uh, our observation skills inform us about objects, events, attitudes, and phenomena using one or more senses. Additionally, being able to observe and gather information about the world is important because it's the basis of communicating well. Now, to start with a very simple way, three phrases in English. If you can see, I have written it here. I see, I watch, and I observe. Yeah, I see, I watch, and I observe. When I say these things, what do I mean about it? I see. I see everything. I see everything around me through my eyes. This is one of the sense organs, and I see this. Whatever external visibility I have, I gathered those information through my eyes, and so I see. But when I am using the word I watch, what do I mean? I'm watching a particular thing. I watch a movie and I remember it for some time. I like it or dislike it. I start creating an opinion about it. I observe. Now, this is something which we all know that when I use this word I observe, I mean that I watch it carefully and I remember it. And I remember it very well. I'll give you an immediate experience of observation. Just close your eyes and think of your favorite person, whoever it is. Immediately, the picture will come in your mind. I mean, if I talk about myself, whoever my favorite person is or are, I have few of them. If I close my eyes, immediately the pictures of those people come to my mind. So my brain has actually stored that image. Again, suppose if I talk about your favorite food, what is your favorite food? Think about it. And you immediately, the picture of that food will come to your mind. Because we have observed that food so well, we have we have made that food very close to us. Whenever, say, whatever food, you are a veg, you are a non-veg, whatever food you like to eat. Suppose many of us like, I mean, I enjoy having fuchka. Okay, golgappe. The moment I talk about it, my salivary secretion starts. So this is a physical phenomenon. So in that way, observation actually helps us to start that, to spark that, give us that spark, that stimulus, an immediate effect. Because suppose you talk about your parent, your father or your mother, the moment you talk about them, the image, if you want, the image will come immediately because you know them so well from your childhood. Now, if we can just go a bit deep into it, uh, observation, I mean, what is observation and its importance? Now, we all have our own perspective about it. Very simply, if I can say that observation in the natural sciences is an art. is an act or instance for noticing or perceiving and the acquisition of information from a primary source. Suppose I use this, say, this marker. If I have to ask you, observe this marker and describe it, what will you do? You will say that this is a marker and the top is black and this is white and a lot of writing, the name of the company is written here with some colors over here. I mean, it says that what are the colors this marker company has given us. All these things, there are certain address, uh, a lot of information we get from this marker. And then after a point, we think that this is enough. But is it enough? How many of you have thought about the shape? It's spherical. How many of you have thought that this portion, the portion where we just stick it like this, uh, did we think at the first instance when we wanted to describe it? Did we talk about the bottom portion over here? So observation is that skill, it's that art, that whatever information we get from noticing it, say you notice it so carefully that every bit of it, it should not anything should not go away from it. So it actually teaches us to detail our work. So suppose you are studying, you are learning an answer for any subject. So when you know all the details of that answer, the source, it's easier for you to write the answer. The same way, if you are cooking, so all the details, if whatever you are cooking, maybe your favorite food, whatever detail you apply, if you know that these are the spices I need to use, these are the ingredients I have to use, and this is the temperature I have to keep, and all these things, this is the, I mean, I have to use hot water, mustard oil or whatever oil, a bit of salt or a bit of sugar, whatever you are using in to cook that successfully well so that you like it, others like it, you have to know how to detail your work. And that is the importance of observation. It teaches us, it helps us to detail, and that actually helps us in every sphere of our life. By default, we start detailing our work, and that is the most interesting part of observation. It does it not only it makes us remember thing, it also teaches us to detail our work. So on that note, if I ask, what are the advantages of observation? Now, in a very formal way, you can say that collect data where and when an event or activity is occurring. It does not rely on people's willingness or ability to provide information. It allows us to directly see what people do rather than relying on what people say they did. You understand? So you can actually, this also indirectly give us a decision making capability, you know. So this is that's another very important benefit, that I am not just listening to some others here, what they're saying. I am looking at it. I am i am i am taking a good look at it. I am deciding whether it is up to the mark or not, whether it is right or wrong. And uh, as a whole, I am making my own decision. I am not making a decision on someone else's uh, uh, description, you know. So that is the whole idea. Suppose you are learning something, a lecture is going on in the class, and uh, you are just listening to it. After a point, you cannot concentrate enough. then how will you learn it? So if you go back home and then start the same subject over and over again and study that topic on your own, that gives you that gives you the knowledge, the idea that yes, this is what I was listening in my class, and this is what is actually say. I mean, so you see, this actually helps you in becoming more detailed person, becoming more specific with your job, and that actually helps us in every sphere of our life. Now, many people have asked me, why are observation skills so important in health and social life? With good observation skills, you will able to provide a better service for people under your care. Suppose you are the person at home, you have ailing grandparents, old grandparents, you have parents who are very busy, and you are willing to help them. Now, how to help? You have to observe their need, all their needs. My grandmother needs this, she needs this medicine at this point of time, she needs this food at this point of time. I have to tell my cook to cook this for my grandfather. My father likes to eat this, my father likes to wear this, my mother's favorite color is this. If you know them, you are actually coming close to everyone. This also happens outside with friends, observing their strengths and weaknesses, observing their likings and dislikings. It can actually make good friends, it can actually create very good bonding, can create faith and trust amongst each other, and life becomes a bit easier, life becomes more beautiful. You can even use your observation skills to make the care environment safer overall. You see, it's like then people will start trusting you. That yes, this person is trustworthy. Uh, I can ask him or her to do this for me because that person cares, and that care comes that person knows my need, and that actually comes from that observation skill which you have. Good observation skills are essential for a number of reasons. You see, noticing noticing any areas of care that could be improved, and that is something unique. It's a unique skill. I always believe that we human beings should learn at least one thing: be kind and let's care. I mean, if you can make others realize that you care, your life becomes beautiful after a point. Trust me, try this out with anyone in your family, with friends, with acquaintances. Just show them that you are kind. Just show them, tell them that you care. And you get a lot of peace. And indirectly, observation is helping you. And that is something very, very, very important, interesting. Now, there are certain questions which arises from here, that when I, as a teacher, I would always come to teaching and learning. What is the importance of observation in teaching and learning? It actually checks and adjusts a teacher's performance, meaning that students get the most out of their lessons. If you're observant enough, you will know that where you are lacking as a performer when you are teaching, where you need to improve. And then if you know that these are the areas you can improve, you are actually helping your students improving their academic performances, and thus improving the overall performance of the school, college, institution, wherever. But that is something. That does not mean that the process can't be improved upon. I mean, you can keep on working at it. You can keep on, if you are observant to yourself. The most interesting part is, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, and that is a very important part. That's a very important part of practicing observation. Now, that makes observation a very important everyday life skill. Not only does observation skills helps an individual to avoid conflicts from taking place, but it also improves overall efficiency, productivity, and positive output. This is because the more keenly you observe yourself and your surroundings, the more you understand where gaps exist and how those gaps need to be filled. That's what I was trying to talk about. You see? So if you, I mean, I always believe that self-help is the best help. If you know your flaws, if you know your uh, strengths, if you know what are your stronger areas, what are your weaker areas, you will be the best person to work on them. You can make your strength even stronger. You can actually know how to tackle your weaknesses and maybe cover them, or maybe you can make it not so weak or strong area in course of time. So uh, many of my students have asked me, what is the aim of observation. Observation actually, you see, when I do class observation, when suppose they are doing they're writing something, they're writing an answer of a given text, or they're performing something in a group activity or in a solo activity, individual activity. It helps us to assess an individual's progress. It is a very important tool. Observation is a very important tool for everyone. As a teacher, from my perspective, observation means how I assess, evaluate my student. At the same time, from the other perspective, from the student's perspective, my student is also observing me. My student is observing the way I walk, talk, behave, the way I represent the student. I have to be very, very alert in front of my student. I have to know how I speak with my student, what are the words I'm choosing with my students. And all these areas are so important. So the assessment is going on both ways. You see, we can find out about the specific care and learning needs of each individual, each student. We can then plan next steps in the student's development and learning. To find out about a particular learner, we need to observe them in a way that is very valuable to that learner and makes the best use of our time. You see, we are here to help, we are here to support, and observation actually helps us. And I am talking from the perspective of a teacher, but from the student's perspective also. As I said, that it's a discussion, it's not a lecture. Though I am talking alone and you are listening, uh, but you must have your own perspective towards it, and that is what I keep talking so much. So, what is necessary for observation? The skill of observing involves using all the senses as appropriate to find out about the characteristics, properties, and attributes of objects, places, and events. Observations can be made directly with the senses or indirectly through the use of instruments that extend our capacity to observe. You know, very simply, if I can tell you, I'm sitting here far away I don't see the detail. What I do, I use a binocular. That binocular is actually my observation skill. I look at it in a closer way. I look at it from a closer perspective, and that actually helps me. So, what are the characteristics of observation? There are quite a few uh, characteristics. It's basically a very systematic method. It's very specific. As I was telling, that you have to be very, very, very specific. Observation is very objective. Observation is also quantitative. Observation is an affair of eyes. You have to have a good eye. You have to watch carefully, and then the next step is observation. You must have a definite aim. What are you observing? Why are you observing? And how are you observing? And then the record of observation is made immediately. If you actually can observe, it is recorded, it is stored in your hard disk over here. It is verifiable. Now, how to improve our observation skills? So, I will just give you some basic points, say 5, 6 points. You must know what are you observing, whom are you observing. So, know your subject well. Slow down and look outwards. Specific. Try something new. Improve your concentration by cutting out distractions. Concentration is a very important skill which improves us to focus. Challenge yourself to a mental workout. I can just tell you, it's a very simple exercise of concentration where early morning you sit on the floor, not on your bed. After you brush, just come sit somewhere where there is a bit of calmness early morning. Close your eyes and just simply listen to the sounds and do nothing else. Listen to the sounds around you. And that is one of the best mental workout, best psychological workout. That is the time when you are actually having a control on your brain and you are concentrating. It's a state of mind at that point of time. Test your observations by playing memory games with friends. You know, memory games, you will get a lot of memory games. You can start with the names of cities or places, food, anything. Record and consider your observations, and keep practicing that. Keep recording it. Like, I mean, recording as in keep memorizing it, that these are the things which I am observing, and I am observing this. Make a note of it. Write it down if possible. These are all very, very beneficial. And the most important is ask questions. Stay inquisitive. It is one of the most important skills for all of us. You know, on that note, I can tell you that human being, why do you think human being is the most intelligent species in this earth? Because human being is the most inquisitive species in the world. Human being is the species who always asked questions. All the evolutions, all the discoveries, inventions happened because human being is inquisitive. And I will conclude by just discussing a very brief basic principles of observation. You know, observation learning engages four main ideas for it to be most effective. These ideas include attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. So I'll repeat: attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation. A learner ought to engage all of his or her undivided attention to the process of observation. And this is these if you remember these four basic ideas, you can actually practice observation to in a very very nice way. And in that case, who is a good observer? What to do to be a good observer? To be a good observer, you must be neutral. There should not be any bias. Observations do not include personal feelings or judgment because those things are based on bias. When personal feelings, preconceived notions, and prejudices get involved, people don't see what is there. They see an object distorted by their perception. So be as unbiased as possible when you practice observation. And there is a one very simple way of remembering it. There are five components of observation. It's a very straightforward process: observe and reflect, document and gather evidence, plan and act, and finally assess. I'll repeat again: observe and reflect, document and gather evidence, plan and act, and finally assess. So I have a small activity for you on observation. What you have to do is you can just sit and in your room check any of the walls, whatever furnitures are there, take a picture, and then start describing them properly. Make a video of, say, 5 minutes. Show us the picture of the video. Show us the picture of that wall, and then make a video. So you take a picture of one wall of your room where you have furnitures and other stuff, pictures, paintings, etc. And then you describe it, and then take a picture of that, add it in your video, or you can just move your camera and show us the wall, and then describe it in around 5 minutes, and then post it in a YouTube, and then send us the link. I would like to see how you describe your own wall, and I would like to know from you after the description if you can just say a few words on how did you approach and how did you like it, and whether you have learned something. Okay, so on that note, I will conclude this discussion on observation skill. I will come back again with another interesting topic, interesting skill, which helps us in our everyday life. Till then, see you.